It seems White Forest is the new favorite toy of many Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel players, and there's no better way to play it than with CENTUR-ION. Let's get a look. White Forest is definitely the most significant of the new decks out of the Master Duel in the latest pack. We of course had a lot of Trickstar and Gimmick Puppet cards, and those decks, while neat, are certainly nowhere near as viable as the White Forest cards. And there is a plethora of ways in which to use these cards. In terms of their monsters and how they work, they're basically just a multiple of 2 style synchro deck, which utilize level 4 and level 2 monsters, which does align it with many other similar kinds of decks. As a deck filled with light spellcasters, that of course also aligns it with other similar types of strategies, Dogmatica, CENTUR-ION, and other things. CENTUR-ION of course being one of the main ones. Now, how the deck actually works is they're aiming to send spells and traps from the hand or field to the graveyard in order to generate advantage. Special summoning monsters from deck, special summoning themselves, searching your deck for cards, drawing cards, whatever the situation may be, you're basically paying spell and trap card cost to gain effect. Now, with that, of course, the actual woes of the White Forest and Tales of the White Forest, as well as the other various White Forest spells and traps, do come back from the graveyard if discarded as cost for a monster effect, which helps mitigate the long-term cost of the strategy within itself. But the key to building a successful hybrid is making sure you're combining it with a deck that can adequately ensure the cost is paid, while also getting enough advantage from the White Forest cards to actually make it worth it. And CENTUR-ION is one of the decks that do just that. Now, there's a few ways of doing it. This is the deck list we used on our first live stream when we were playing to deck. We got a couple of pretty interesting choices in here, you know, the Cosmic and such. I'll do a card for card at the end, although you can kind of see it, it's not really all that complicated. Ultimately, we were playing the deck, we had a fucking blast, we were testing out the combos, good plays and bad plays, all around. It was a very fun deck to play. I do have other versions of the deck that I will be playing and uploading. I have already actually streamed this deck for a second time using a new version with the toy box cards, which is a little more aggressive. It doesn't play as much non-engine, but is definitely viable in its own ways. So there's a ton of different ways you can build this. I will have a video on that deck out, but if you want to catch our live streams from when we played this list, or in fact even our other list, you can of course catch those on Converged Gaming Plus. All of our live streams from Twitch are re-uploaded on the Converged Gaming Plus a number of days afterwards, so you can always go back and watch that when you get a chance. This is going to contain some of the better moments from that live stream where we played this, showing off some of our combos, showing off how we interact with opponents, some wins, some losses. Again, all in all, it was a good time. Really, really enjoyed it, and would absolutely recommend anyone else to pick this deck up. The deck is a little pricey. It's really not that bad because in terms of engine, there's only there's 5 sort of mandatory main deck URs. You might want to run additional copies of Sylvie, which we'll maybe cover off more so in our other deck list where we do play more copies of Sylvie. So between 5 to 7 main deck URs and 1 extra deck UR in addition to the regular cards, being Diabell, Queen of the White Forest. So not the cheapest deck in the world, especially considering that's just to play it as an engine. As a pure deck, there's maybe not enough here to make it work just yet. You can maybe pull off some toy box shenanigans, but I've tried that and I'm not a massive fan. I do think CENTUR-ION is going to be the way of playing it. This is one way. Again, like I said, we've got another toy box version coming out soon, and I will likely be exploring other ways of playing it in the future. So if you want to catch any of that, number one, to catch it live, join us on Twitch. You know, we're streaming over there. It's been really good. I've been enjoying live streaming on Twitch. So if you want to catch us over there, make sure you're following there or even subscribed. Entirely up to you. If you want to catch our videos, subscribe here. Long form content VODs will be on Converged Gaming Plus. You know where to find it all. It's all available to you. You do whatever suits you best. I'm not going to waste too much time here. We're going to get into some gameplay, show it off on how it works. Then I'm going to do a deck list at the end, and that'll do it. And then we'll see what happens from there. Although we've been live for like almost an hour already. Already? We're going to go Oath here. Going to go True Dea. Gonna activate the True Dea here. No Maxi, that's good. I will change your level. You'll activate... No. Nothing to say to that one, huh? Nothing to say. Very interesting. Okay, so we go Primera. Primera then grabs me... Wake Up. And if it weren't so goddamn expensive, I would play it. But there's no way I'm paying that much for a deck that's that bad. I don't know. I have not heard good things. In my experience thus far, I have not heard very many good things. And it looks very expensive. So I don't know. Maybe like if we get fucking, I don't know. I honestly don't, I can't foresee a circumstance under which I would make that deck, to be perfectly honest. We don't get our search here for our trap card off of Auxilia. But we don't like lose to Duel because I just opened the field spell. We got send Phalanx to Grieve, you think? 20 subs to make it. I'll probably take 20 subs to fucking build. Actually, 20 subs won't get me anywhere near it. I normally send MF. But, you know, that also works. And then we get to play Primera back from the Grieve, and we Gucci. Yeah, I feel like this version of White Forest has been my favorite so far, just because it doesn't, whenever you, typically, you very rarely have hands of White Forest and no spells and traps. And that's not just me saying that we play a lot of spells and traps, which we do, but it's also me saying that enough of the time, you open one of the many one-card starters for the Centur-ION engine. So if nothing else, you normally get access to Centur-ION, which, again, if nothing else, normally supplies you with spells and traps. I'm just gonna... I'm just gonna do this, if you don't mind. I know Gamma's at 1. I know Gamma's at 1. I'm not losing the Gamma over one draw. Not doing it. Okay, Hydra. Yeah, this is fine. Normal summon's used up. Hydra effect is used up. I guess we'll grab MF. Doesn't really matter. Centur-ION allows us to go into the Crimson Dragon. You're negated. Crimson Dragon. Copy Auxilia. Goes into Supernova. Alright. I'm happy with this. I'm happy with this. I think this is fine. So he has to have summoning, Kaiman, or Chandra in hand to do anything here, which he absolutely could. That's a lot of cards. That's 9 cards he could have in hand. That becomes something. This is fine. I'm going to go Maxi here. Supernova can advance his game here, to be perfectly honest. Because remember, Chandra's battle effect activates in damage step, whereas my effect activates on attack declaration. So I activate before D1. He activates in D1, so this is battle step. That does nothing. So he does nothing here, basically. He summons out a monster, and that monster still gets banished. It doesn't matter what the monster is, because, again, if it has an effect, it's not going to be in the place necessary to trigger that effect before it gets banished. Meaning his Bident here, all it does is give me an extra card. Mattered. Yeah, goodbye. Goodbye. Gonna play any Indiana Jones? That is a wild sentence, sir. What do you mean play Indiana Jones? I remember back before I knew what like royal rares were, I had a royal copy of this guy and I thought I'm never gonna play ninjas and scrapped it. And to this day I have not emotionally recovered from that experience. Alright. Let's go a Stellar. Enjoy, my friend. Nice having you around. Okay, so we're gonna go a Stellar. I'm gonna drop the Imperm. My main issue with a lot of the Whitewood cards is that if you get interrupted, it's fucking game over. Like, it's so much value you lose out of it. It's honestly nuts. I'm gonna go Sylvie here, not Primura. I already have the field spell in hand, so I kind of need to not go for stuff that's gonna lose me more advantage. I'm gonna go Sylvie. Grab. Probably. Oh, what does that do? One controls. You can set a ninja monster and up to one. Duplication requires him to have a monster with a level on the field, correct? So if I stop this. Damn, that sucks. Hanzo misses timing though, right? So if he can't go Hanzo here. He can go the Gravity Ninja though, which would suck. Yeah, Geo sucks. It's fine though. This is not the biggest deal in the world. I'm gonna go Teals of the White Forest. Alright, alright, alright. Geo's gonna flip our shit. It's fine. Annoying, but fine. I am gonna call by that Droll, actually. Droll would suck. Does this change anything? I don't think it does. I think we're fine. My microphone's blocking my chat. It's pretty fucking stupid. Alright, we're gonna drop this. So dropping Teals means that we should be fine. He should definitely go Duplication to tribute to Geo to go into ninjas from deck here. I don't know why he's doing these things in like Chain Link 2, but he is. Each effect once per turn. So it's not like he can go like Kagero Revive it, do it again. So he has to kind of go. Tabari's gonna grant him a banish from extra, correct? During your opponent's main or battle phase, quick effect fusion. Do a face down Tabari as well. Oh, as well as a Mitsu. Okay, there's the Mitsu. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, we're gonna grab Rusia. What's up, man? We're doing good. We just chilling, playing some Yu-Gi-Oh. How about yourself? It has been a while, yeah. I've been awful busy. I've been putting this live stream off for days. But here we are. We're having a good time. Tabari. Okay, so Tabari's also a once per turn. Right? I'm pretty sure Tabari's a once per turn. Yep, you're one. Okay. Turn to Hanzo. So Hanzo will give Mitsu a good flip. Okay. So he gets a banish here. He's gonna banish my LZ, I imagine. Okay. Activates a monster effect. So he still has a monster to get. So it's kind of annoying, but we should go for it. Yeah, but here, fucking join the club. That's how shit works, unfortunately. We got Trudea. Yeah, this sucks. Mitsu's gonna fucking negate us and we're just gonna be fucking sad. You're a oh, damn it, you're a pyro too, so that wasn't very smart, huh? Because I've already normal summoned though, right? Yeah, so even grabbing... I've already got Sylvie, actually. Yeah, no part of this went according to plan. You know what? Should have summoned you in attack position, attacked the Mitsu, got rid of it, and then activated you in Beam Fizz 2. I see my mistake. I see my mistake. Good day, sir. Okay, might be. It's fine, it happens. That was a decent amount of interruption we were playing through there as well, to be fair. Okay. Interesting hand. It's a little bit fragile. Kind of dies to imperm just a little bit. I think I'll ash that. I'm gonna special summon enough times to make it worth it. Alright. Play Trudea. Go for Trudea. Back into the back row. Gonna play Primera. Activate Primera. Pretty standard stuff. We're just playing CENTUR-ION in this game, just regular ass CENTUR-ION. If I go wake up now, then I don't have to discard a card later. But it also means I don't get the trap. Which I think is worth it. I think the trap is worth it. Like if I go stand up, play MF, summon MF, then Auxilia grabs me the trap. Yeah, with double Droplet in hand, I'm not going to have enough cards to make Droplet effective. So I think it's going to be worth it. Play MF. Summon the MF, and we Gucci. Okay. Our opponent's A card down, which is going to be handy. Whatever. Yeah, and then we replay Primera. Imperm on the Auxilia would have sucked. But, you know, it is what it is. Okay. Swordsoul. Interesting. Sure, I'm maxing. Now we're gonna go for our CENTUR-ION plays. Some of them one at a time, just so, you know, a potential maxi, like a counter maxi, doesn't have as egregious an impact. Sometimes what they'll do, if you activate one CENTUR-ION, they'll pass until you activate the second one, and then they'll try and draw one off of each. So if they are playing sneaky with maxi, you can sort of play around it that way. Just a little bit, gets them less cards. It's not a massive difference, but every card's important, man. When one card can be the difference between winning and losing, you want to stop your opponent from having cards. That's the moral of the story. Alright, Crimson Dragon. Primera grabs me Wake Up, I guess. And now we're gonna go Crimson. Dressworm? Why? Why? Oh, just, I guess, because you want Dressworm on field, huh? Not necessarily because it does anything, but just because you want it there. That makes sense. Probably want to go into like a Chaos Angel or something like that. Okay, I could see that being the case. Gonna summon a Blizzard. I'm also going to immediately deal with this Stressworm. I guess I could deal with his token. I'll deal with the token. So that means, unless he has exactly the strategist in hand, he has emergence. Ooh, don't like that. That's big. You're also playing CENTUR-ION. That is interesting. All right, well, I'm gonna go MF. So I'm gonna, we're basically just going MF, putting it into the back row so that I can send it off of Droplet. And then after sending it off of Droplet, I can bring it back from the graveyard using the second effect of Phalanx. Okay. So in an ideal world, he summons this as a level 8. That's a level 8 right there. That is, in fact, what a level 8 looks like. And now I just Droplet. So with it being an 8, no bueno. He definitely should have left it as a 4, so that he could have gone into a Chaos Angel if it was negated like that. So small. I don't know if I'd say misplay from our opponent. I wouldn't necessarily call it that. But it was enough to get him to concede, so I'll take it. I definitely would have summoned it as a 4, so that I could have went Drissworm and the 4 into Chaos Angel. But to each their own, right? This is big. This is big money play right here. This is a huge play right here. That's fucking crazy, my guy. Are you serious? You're serious. You're actually serious. He's actually serious. Shifter in the Max C. There's no way. Oh my god. Okay, Teals of the Way, Forest comes back. Damn, that fucking sucks. Normal summon Primera, activate Primera. Grab ourselves field spell, I guess. Activate the field spell. Okay. Okay, it's fine. I guess we'll do it. Right, that's fine. Auxilia gets me as many interruptions as Legacia would have anyway, and it helps sort of set our plays up going forward. So I think it's still worth it. It's just annoying. Well, actually, with Rusia... No, hang on. With Rusia, we've got plays. No, we also got a Legacia. Yeah, because we can use Rusia and Trudea. So if I grab back Trudea here, I can still do Legacia. So that's not as bad. It doesn't feel as bad. It means I'm losing Rusia permanently, but again, it's fine. The level 4s in the grind game have not come up a ton so far, so again, I'm not gonna stress myself out over it. Normal summon Chundra. Chundra end of main. I'll take it. Oh, Chaos Angel? Yeah, I'm gonna do Chaos Angel. Yeah, fuck this man. That's fine. If needs be, I'll banish it off the field with my Phalanx. Phalanx can target my monsters too. Or he has nothing. Yeah. See, y'all worry too much. On summon. Goodbye. Why y'all worried? Y'all worked up for no reason. I'm gonna go Rusia. We're gonna drop Teals. Veeler. Veeler on the Rusia, really? Sure, I'll let it go. Wouldn't have been a terrible droplet there, but I honestly don't think it matters much, considering Teals just comes right back to us, you know? No biggie, sir. Ain't no thing. Alright, now we're gonna go Trudea. Summon itself. Change its level. And the Crimson. Oh, wait, hang on. No, it's fine. I just go Droplet. Yeah, that's fine. Droplet does the same job. We still get lethal. 32. 3k. No shot. Good try. Good thing we attacked the Blizzard first, huh? $30k. 35. Alright, good try. Tenpai just not enough in the tank, apparently. Not enough in the tank. Okay. Hand is serviceable. Workable, to be sure. Awkward, but workable. Calica, really? Okay, let's go LZ. Let's drop this. I'm shocked he did not negate either of those, actually. That's huge. Okay, sure. Okay, playing under Caliga and Dragoon. It's gonna take some doing. Okay, so that's that. Okay, into the battle phase. Fuck. Okay, he did not take the bait. Okay, that's fine. With our trap card set up now, though, we could be fine. So I'm gonna play Teals to get Surgeon. Yeah, it's gonna grab us Stellar. Okay, now I'm gonna go Phalanx to target the Caliga and banish it. He definitely negates this. Okay, or this, I guess. Oh, you can't even fucking attempt to negate it because of Caliga. Alright, okay. Maxi is gone. Awesome. That's really good. Okay. Caliga's gone. And Maxi is negated. That's actually huge. Okay. Rusia then. Okay. This might be fine. We might actually be fine. He negates the Rusia. Drops another Maxi. Okay, we might actually be fine here. Yep, that's okay. What I'm gonna do then is I'm gonna go Woes. I thought I had another card. That's not good for me. That's not good. Okay, never mind. Misplay. I thought I had another tuner in deck, but apparently... Where the fuck is... I used Sylvie last turn. Might be. Okay, that's twice that's been an issue. But only twice in 3 hours. I'll take it. Okay, now we're gonna go Primera. Primera summons herself. Activate. Search of the field spell. Activate the field spell. Okay, use your effect. Discard a Stellar. Play MF. Now that we've got a Stellar Engrave, what I'm going to do is use these two to go into Silvera. Then Silvera, flip the board. Yep. Okay, now we're gaming. Now we go Diabell. Activate. You're gonna grab me back. You grab any of these dorks, right? Probably Woes. Then we'll go Sylvie. Sylvie, return you. Summon itself. Then we're gonna go for Auxilia. Auxilia will search. This is not fantastic, but it's not nothing either. We can definitely wait the board out. We can actually do quite a lot here. Because we still have Rusia engraved to shuffle back Diabell. So I can actually go back into Diabell here. I think I'm gonna go Crimson though. So I'm gonna go Wake Up Centurion. Yeah, okay. I was gonna go Wake Up Centurion into a 4, Wake Up and Rusia back into Diabell, and then summon. Yeah, no, and then just leave it at that, and then just 3k over Dragoon. Diabell over that, and then I have the Auxilia reset the Primera, and then I've got Crimson Dragon into a negate on the following turn alongside Diabell into Silvera for flip the field or Formula Synchron for an Omni. So I think that was definitely the play. And there you have it. And that is the gameplay. So we're going to cover off the deck list here briefly at the end of the video. We're going to keep it sort of brief and succinct. I'm going to explain a few of the ratios and why we built this deck the way we did. I did, of course, explain a lot of this as we were doing it on the live stream, but we'll go over it here just to be sure. So number one, first and foremost, non-engine. Maxi, mandatory, of course. Ash Blossom, Call by the Grave, and Crossout. Just your standard Maxi and anti-Maxi package. So long as that card is legal, you basically have to run those cards in almost every deck that wants to special summon. Well, you can maybe not run Crossout, to be fair, because you aren't playing a deck that loses super hard to Maxi. Centurion does naturally have plays you can make under Maxi, so it's not quite as bad as maybe another deck. But considering the White Forest cards do like the special summon a good little bit, I felt like it was still necessary. Plus, we're playing a ton of non-engine, which means Crossout just is that much more useful. Plus, as a spell card, it can be discarded for cost. So that's another feature. So you don't have to play Crossout, but I would recommend it. So the standard Maxi package. We also have a triple Cosmic Cyclone, which was actually an addition we made mid-stream. And every time we saw this card, it was useful. We bodied Tenpai with it. You know, sometimes one Cosmic Cyclone under their field spells enough to win the game. We were using this to counter Stun, banishing Floodgates. We were countering Horus, which is a pretty tough matchup for this deck in a lot of circumstances. It depends on sort of where you are. If you start off well and can keep advantage, then you can handle Horus no problem if you just sort of continuously loop your Silvera and eventually sort of win through their defenses. But in some circumstances, especially if you get hit with a couple of hand traps, Horus can be a bit of a tough customer. So the Cosmic Cyclone helped with our Horus matchup a little bit as well, which was definitely no small issue. So I think Triple Cosmic was actually pretty good. Plus, again, as a spell, it can be discarded as cost off of your White Forest card. So even if you have it in hand against an opponent that maybe isn't playing back row, it's easy cost and fodder to be discarded. Zero issues, complaints, nor concerns around the inclusion of Cosmic Cyclone. Really good card. Droplet's really good. Again, it's a spell card to be discarded. Board wiping, going second using this deck can be a little bit tough, so having Droplet here is a way to enable you. It's sort of like a hybrid card for going first and second, because you can set it if you go first, and of course play it if you go second. You do generate a lot of advantage with this deck, so you're not really going to struggle for finding the cost for it. So I think Droplet's a really good addition. I definitely really like that card in this deck. And then lastly, we have Imperm. Again, as a spell or trap, it can be discarded for White Forest. Really good card, really good sort of mixed impact going first and second. Can't complain about Imperm. And that's all the non-engines. So this is kind of the engine that we were running. Some of the ratios are flexible, and I'll talk about that in a moment. First things first, let's talk about our White Forest cards. We got Triple Stellar. A Stellar can special summon a light spellcaster tuner from deck. That is your Sylvie or your Primera. Depending on what you have, depending on what your combo may be in the route you want to go down. A lot of the times you're going to be playing Sylvie because the White Forest cards will go through Auxilia just naturally to get you access to your field spell, which then gets you Truderia and the Primera, blah, blah, blah. So a Stellar is pretty good going through Sylvie, but it can also grab Primera if you already have Sylvie in hand, or if the situation demands the Primera be summoned, it can be done, which is one of the sort of main parts of synergy between the two decks. It also brings itself back from the graveyard if a spell or trap is discarded for a monster effect cost, which is kind of like the theme with all of the back row. If they're discarded as cost for a monster effect, they will play themselves back to the field. This is something very similar. This special summons itself back. LZ is the extender of the deck, or one of the two extenders. You can send a spell or trap from your hand or field to the graveyard, special summon itself, and search your deck for a White Forest card. So really, really excellent, because you're going to be searching for Rusia, which is a free special as well, which we'll get to in a minute. So this card's incredible at being an extender. And it also adds itself back to hand if, during your opponent's turn, a light spellcaster tuner is special summoned to the field, being your Rusia or Sylvie. Both of these guys can special summon themselves from grave as a quick effect. So that's how you'll usually recycle this. Also, the summoning of Primera off of its own effect will trigger that. So LZ also recycles itself. Ultimately, just a really good card. No reason to not run this a free. Primera and Trudeia. I'm not going to waste too much time talking about what all the CENTUR-ION cards do, because I've made a whole bunch of CENTUR-ION videos. But we're running the 2 of Primera, 1 of Trudeia, and then just maxing out on our starters. We've got the triple Oath and triple stand-up CENTUR-ION. So in terms of ratios for these guys, I was kind of stuck between cutting down a Stellar and increasing CENTUR-ION, or cutting down CENTUR-ION and increasing a Stellar, because there was a little bit of competition over the normal summon initially. I do feel like that a Stellar ultimately wins that competition for the normal summon, so I decided to reduce quite heavily the number of CENTUR-ION monsters I was playing in my main deck, and even, again, in retrospect, and you will see this in my upcoming list in my next video I make on this, I would maybe reduce this even more. To 1 of each. I think 2 Primera was more than fine, though. There was a couple of spots where it was competing for normal summon, but there was also other situations where it was just nice to have in hand, because it started the combo. So no complaints here. Definitely 2 Primera is more than doable. If you don't have 2 Primera, 1 is absolutely good enough. And 1 to 2 Trudeia. I don't really like going 3 on these guys, because again, our competition for normal summon is quite tight. So you do what you want in terms of ratios there, but I think 2 and 1 is fine. 1 and 1 is also fine. 2 and 2 is fine, but pushing it, that's where we started off. 2 and 2 is kind of pushing it. Sylvie, I think Sylvie is, again, in the interest of competition over normal summon. I was only running this as a 1 of. I didn't want to feel pressured to normal summon it. I already had 6 other monsters in my deck that wanted to be normal summoned. So adding more copies of Sylvie would just make that worse, especially considering it could be special summoned from deck off of Stellar. So ultimately, I wasn't too worried about additional copies of Sylvie. The one circumstance under which I would maybe consider running additional copies of this is on some very rare occasions. We were left without a tuner to special summon off of Woes, nor a tuner on field to combine with a level 2 summon from deck off of Woes. Usually not a problem, because even summoning one of your level 2s off of Woes is fine, so long as you have a level 4 tuner on field, being Primera or any of your White Forest cards, being that they can special summon themselves back from grave as a quick effect. So normally you can facilitate that quite easily, but there were a couple of situations where we weren't. So maybe having a second one for that purpose is not a terrible idea. On summon, by the way, what it does, on summon, search away for a spell or trap. That's it. Rusia can special summon itself from hand if you control a White Forest. This is the extender. This is what you would search off of Velset. It's sometimes what you search off of Teals, although you would rarely rather grab LZ off of Teals. But ultimately, Rusia is one of the extenders of the deck. Also a level 4 tuner, just like Sylvie. You can also send a spell or trap from hand or field to grave to draw a card. Very minimal gain relative to the other cards, but again, it's mostly designed to work with Woes and Teals. Pitching these guys to draw one, and then Woes or Teals will just reset themselves back to the field from the graveyard if sent to the grave is cost for a monster effect. So it's mainly to work with these. Sometimes you want to gamble a little bit, just drop a card. It works really well with the toy engine, which you're going to see in our next video. Especially this card is much better in that version. But ultimately, it's a free special level 4 tuner, right? Which is Centurion's problem. We only had one tuner in Centurion. So the addition of multiple tuners that are the same attribute, type, and level as the primary tuner of the deck is just magnificent. One of MF for the level 8 recurring Centurion body. Just useful in terms of its level, coming back from grave and all that fun stuff. One Teals will search your deck for a White Forest monster if you control an illusion or a spellcaster. Sounds like you would play this at 3, and initially I definitely was. But again, in retrospect, it doesn't do a lot by itself. You can play more than one of it if you want to. I really, again, in hindsight, after playing around with it, I think one is definitely sufficient. 3 Centurion, we've already talked about these. 1 Wake Up, 1 Phalanx, all very, very standard Centurion ratios. Don't worry too much about that. And Woes of the White Forest is kind of the big payoff when it comes to the White Forest combo. So this will allow you to special summon a White Forest monster from hand or deck, then immediately synchro summon a White Forest synchro monster. That is most beneficial when considering Sylvira, Wolf Tamer of the White Forest, which when special summoned will flip all face-up monsters your opponent controls to face-down defense position. A quick effect, Book of Eclipse, is pretty fucking good. Getting into the extra, we have a little Dragoon package here. So Muddy Mud Dragon, Albion, and Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. The logic is that Muddy Mud Dragon, being a level 6 synchro monster, is very easy to summon given our predisposition for level 6 synchros. Then Muddy Mud Dragon can take on the name of any given monster for fusion material, so you can fuse it and any light monster on your field using its own effect as a fusion. To fuse into Albion the Branded Dragon. Albion the Branded Dragon on summon will conduct an additional fusion summon, fusing itself and the Muddy Mud Dragon from the graveyard into the Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, which basically means that any any sort of 3 monsters on board for the most part, so long as at least one of them is a level 2 non-tuner, usually ends up in a Dragoon if you are so inclined. Not something you want to do every time, because it is quite costly and it does eat into quite a lot of your follow-up, so you really only want to do that with exceptionally good hands, or if you feel like you're not going to get interrupted. And that's the big thing. Like, if you're not going to get interrupted, you can absolutely make this guy before your 5th summon and then go on to do a full Centurion combo, which is absolutely ideal and what you want to do. In the context of actual Yu-Gi-Oh though, that's never going to fucking happen. So committing to a play like that is often kind of consigning yourself to Dragoon Pass, unfortunately, so it's not always worth doing. But if your hand is like Hyper Gas, and you think you can still play Centurion after Dragoon, even after an interruption or 2, go ham. Formula is here to work alongside Diabel, so I'll actually talk about Diabel first. Diabel basically, when summoned using a tuner synchro monster, and that is either of your other White Forest synchro monsters, they're both tuners and they're both level 6. You will grab any spell or trap from graveyard and add it back to hand. You will have seen many strategies use this to recycle cards such as Skill Drain, such as Summon Limit, Power Sink Stone, and various other degenerate bullshit, which you absolutely can do that. We weren't doing that because we wanted to have fun, but you could. So recycling any spell or trap back from grave is, of course, an amazing effect. And secondly, if your opponent activates a card or an effect, you can send a spell or trap from hand or field to the graveyard to special summon a level 7 or lower tuner synchro monster from your extra deck, graveyard, or banishment. Now that refers pretty specifically to 2 cards. Number 1, Silvera, which we've already talked about, flips everything on summon. And number 2, Formula Synchron, which is a level 2 synchro tuner that, as a quick effect, allows you to synchro summon. So often you will use Duel to summon Formula Synchron, and then Formula Synchron's effect, pairing it with your Duel to go into Baron. Pretty quickly and easily, very efficient, gives you an extra Omni. Although, to be honest, Silvera's pretty fucking good. Although, if you have Woes and access to Silvera through Woes, you'll usually go Duel for Formula. If you don't have Woes or a way to effectively use it, you will go Duel into Silvera. In my opinion, I think the Book of Eclipse, in most circumstances, is more impactful than a single negate. But that's just me. An Omni's an Omni. It's a big deal, but... So Silvera. Reselia, when summoned, will send a spell or trap from hand or field to grave to grab a White Forest card or spellcaster. You're usually going to grab Woes or whatever basically you're missing. It's a very good extender and leads very well into Duel because oftentimes you'll just grab back whatever the fuck you discard off of this dork, right? Baron, of course. Chaos Angel, of course, again, because we can summon this out using a dark monster in our CENTUR-ION Trudea, makes Chaos Angel even better. Summoning this card during your opponent's turn to get a banish on their turn, plus being immune to virtually everything. Hell yeah. Then we got just our regular CENTUR-ION level 12 package. We got our Auxilia and Legacia. Auxilia, of course, for the search during our turn to make sure we've got our field spell set up, and if we do, we can grab our trap card. Legacia pops a card on summon and draws us a card, so you can use that during your opponent's turn using your CENTUR-ION cards if you aren't able to go into an Auxilia during your turn, whatever the situation may be. Good play under Max C, especially. I really like this. Crimson Dragon, then, a generic level 12 synchro, summonable very easily off of CENTUR-IONs or indeed off of the White Forest cards, allows you to use and copy the level of either Auxilia or Legacia to summon Supernova for a field wipe or Blizzard for a negate. Again, if you've played CENTUR-ION, the extra deck makes sense. It's very straightforward. There's a few ways, again, in which you can take it. In terms of like what you need to play, I would say you could very comfortably cut the Dragoon package. You can absolutely cut SP. You're not going to use it very often. I think everything here is kind of mandatory. So you have 4 spots to play with, and you'll see in our toy box list that we actually do just play pure synchros. And I think arguably that deck is better. I think it's a lot more fun to play. There's definitely a lot more bad hands in it. It's a lot more win more than this version because it doesn't play nearly as much non-engine. But boy, does it fucking go. When it goes, it fucking goes. So that's really kind of what you're debating when it comes to deciding what you're building. Are you going to go balls to the wall, full gas, and just eviscerate everything in your path most of the time, but risk not having as much non-engine? Or are you going to play it safe and you're going to play it consistently, get a steady, safe stream of wins using a recipe much like this one? Either or, both very, very valid options, and both are yours to choose from. That's pretty much everything for me. If you got this far into the video, of course, thank you for watching. Make sure you do catch us on Twitch when we are live streaming. Given my current schedule, it's a lot more difficult for me to make videos on a regular basis. So if you show up for our streams, I really would appreciate it because that's where most of the content's going to be. So if you want to do that for us, I would appreciate it. If not, of course, you can just subscribe here to catch the videos when we do actually get a chance to make them and post them. And of course, our VODs are on Converged Gaming Plus. That's enough for me. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.